Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is how I lost 10 pounds without tracking a single calorie, macros or points, and how you can do the same too if that's your goal. Oh, and by the way, I also lost 5% of body fat because that's where the goal is. If you've got some fat to lose and you need to unbig your back, we need to be focusing on things that you do that can help you lose your fat, not just some weight on the scales. If you're somebody who needs to know how to lose some fat, girl, you're in the right place. Grab yourself a tea, grab yourself some coffee, and then let's get into today's video. Welcome back to the channel, friends. Something new here. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to share this with a friend. If you're somebody who prefers to listen rather than watch, you can watch this or listen to this rather in the gym, because I love listening to podcasts in the gym, or tune in to the podcast Lose Weight with Meal Planning every Monday and Wednesday, or go ahead and binge the episodes that I've got. You can also finally grab yourself the recipe membership. Head over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes, and every single month you will get a whole list of breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Because I don't know about you, but after dinner, sometimes I'm like, I can do with something sweet. So I've given you a variety of recipes, especially if you're somebody who's like, I want to eat healthy, but I don't know where to start. This is the place that you need to be. Okay. All right, friends. Now let's get into how I lost 10 pounds without tracking a single calorie, macro, point, or anything else for that matter. Now, I will say, if you're somebody who is tracking your macros, girl, go on with yourself. If you're thinking of tracking your macros, go on with yourself. There was a period of time where I just come from yo-yo dieting. I did keto, I did Beachbody. Oh, Lord. And it's called Body now, as if that changed anything. Anyway, what else did I do? I did Slimming World. I was contemplating between tracking points. I did paleo. Girl, I did some things. I cut out sugar. And on day 31, you know I needed sugar in my life because that's what I went back to. Girl, I did the whole time. Okay. Guess what? I still was fat. I lost the weight, but I regained it straight after I finished because those habits are unrealistic. But when I tracked my macros, that was the most time that I was not worried about restriction. Oh gosh, can I eat this? Can I eat that? Oh my goodness, I can't eat that. I'm going to be bad. This is bad. I kind of come away from that. And that's where I found food freedom. On my journey as becoming a nutrition coach, that's when I focused on macros as a whole because that's what I was doing. But later on, I got tired of tracking my macros. I got tired of weighing my food. Every lick, every bite, every taste, I had to weigh. Who wants to do that every single week? Now, let me tell you, there is a place and there is a time. When it gets to the point where you're becoming obsessive, you're putting the scale in your bag, that is when it's becoming obsessive. And it's coming out of the realm of what it was actually created to do and what you actually signed up for. I will never forget, my mindset kind of changed, especially as a coach. When I read a comment over on YouTube, before I was focused on, my YouTube channel, I read a comment somewhere in the comments that somebody said, I was tracking calories for 10 years and I didn't like it. And then that kind of made me take a step back, because when you're in the same space as coaches, you're all singing from the same hymn sheet. I'm a different kind of breed of coach. I'm the one who is opposite. You ain't gonna put me in a box, honey. Oh no, I'm gonna burst out of that box and I'm gonna make everyone know about it. It gives you the accountability. It's all up in your business because you are tracking your carb intake, your fat intake, your protein intake. It also shows you what you're under eating. I used MyFitnessPal. In fact, I've got a MyFitnessPal guide. If any of you want to actually learn how to track your macros and you've got MyFitnessPal and you're really serious, you're putting some skin in the game, then have this macros guide, this meal planning macros guide. It will absolutely help you. And it's what I used to give to my clients when they actually came to get a macros count from me. Taking into account your age, your weight, your height, your sex, your activity level, your stress level, your food preferences, the food quality that you take into. Our calculator doesn't allow for that, which is why I absolutely recommend getting a coach to track your macros for you, because they take into account all of that. Okay. All up in your business. Now you see why I say it's all up in your business. Do you got to track macros for the rest of your life? And I think this is where some coaches, even though they have their, and I mean, some people are like, well, if I'm going to a macros coach, I expect them to be tracking their macros. Yeah, but they don't have to be. A retired teacher is still a teacher. They might not be able to teach in a school, but they could still teach outside of school. Macro tracking is a tool. Counting points is a tool. Counting calories is a tool. It isn't designed, although these diets do design them that way, you must be tied to this thing forever, ever. And that's not the case. I've heard grown men being obsessed with tracking macros. And that's the dark side of nutrition that you don't hear often. They may talk about it in their coaching program. You don't see coaches talk about it a lot. And you see the MLM Huns and the keto Huns, they tend to do this well. Oh, look at this. They show you all of the product and all of this. They used to tell us this when I was in body. Praise God, I got out of that. But they used to tell you to, what do they say? Oh, MLM's all the same. They used to tell you, don't show the name of the product. You've got to create intrigue. People will be like, what's that you're having? What's that superfood shake? Ain't no superfood. What protein is in that for $129 a month? And then it's so much content in the bag, lasts way longer than 30 days, but you've got to replenish it because it's an auto ship to keep your PV. Don't get me started up in here. Okay. See why I'm not your average. Macros is freedom. Macros talk about freedom. Where it came from was the bodybuilding world. I'm talking a lot about macros. I might as well call this video about macros. But just a synopsis, macros was created by bodybuilders when they go into competitions to help them be so lean, being able to keep on top of how much macronutrients you're getting, vitamins and minerals that you get, the amount of fat that's in the foods that you're eating, but you have to track it. You're not tracking it, forget about it. There's no point in doing it. I've had clients tell me if they're tracking accurately. I said, track everything you eat. If you drink the whole bottle of wine, tell me you drink the whole bottle of wine by just saying it in the app. This is where you're likely to get results that are sustainable rather than you telling me what you think I want to hear. I want to hear you be honest. Be honest and track everything, no matter what it is, no matter how much you eat. If you eat the whole tub of ice cream, track it. That's the level of transparency that we work together. Then we can create a plan. Ice cream, I see her eat a whole tub of ice cream. What's going on? Talk to me. Talk to me. Well, you know what? The kids are getting on my nerves. At least then we can do some solid coaching if you're that honest and you're that transparent. That's how I work anyway. Anyway, let's talk about today's video about why I lost weight. Now, the calorie Huns will tell you, you got to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Yes, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. I think we established that in the previous video. You do. But one of the ways that I lost 10 pounds and also lost 5% of body fat was by having a mixed calorie deficit. So a mixed calorie deficit is a mixture of, or calorie deficit in the whole, is you're eating less food and your body expends. Now that doesn't mean that I'm eating bird food. No, ma'am. If you've seen my videos, you know that I eat some good food. I'm eating some great and amazing food. So I'm front loading on protein, and I'm also focusing on whole food. Legumes, plant-based foods, potatoes, all them things. But I'm reducing my refined carbs. I had some puffer fish face, you know. I'll show you a picture in here. Ooh. Earlier on in the year, I had a puffer fish face. I don't hate that now. So where I've started to focus on my sleep, stress, and focus on whole plant-based foods, my body is naturally in a calorie deficit. For me, if I'm having a lot of refined carbs, sweets, cakes, treats, all of them things, that's when they go to my back and my belly. Sad times. So how I managed to lose 10 pounds was I still had those foods, but I didn't have them often. And I also managed my portion control. The only thing that I weigh on the scale is my oats. For those of you who are taking notes, I focused on my sleep, my stress, my food, the quality of the food. I had myself a lot of berries. Oh, it's not out. I've bought a Nama J2 juicer and I absolutely love it. That is something that I will have twice a day. I'll have one in the morning when I am going to the gym, and I'll also have one in the evening, and I'll also take my supplement with that. That's all I did. Some of you might be like, where's the diet advice? Baby, when it comes to maintaining proper weight loss, you got to do these boring things consistently. It's not glamorous. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's the same time. I mean, not eating the same things every day, but you're doing the same things. You're repeating the same habits. You're repeating the same cycles to get better, building better health. Then you're going to see the return, honey. For those of you who like razzmatazz, I mean, it's not poo-poo supplement. It is not TikTok poo-poo supplements that smell like poo-poo, taste like poo-poos, and are sending you to go poo-poos. Because, yeah, it works, but do you really maintain that weight? Do you really keep it off? Because, baby, if you do, then I'm out of a job, because everything I just said is wrong. But I know that TikTok supplement that you did buy, it ain't working. Oh, okay. Admit it's not working and then move on. No shame. You don't have to announce to the whole family that, hey, I'm on a diet, and then they're keeping you accountable, and you're getting upset because they're keeping you accountable, because holding you accountable to the thing that you said you're going to do, but you ain't done it. It's giving, I can't eat that because I'm on a diet. Eat your food. Practice portion control. It's not an announcement. You're not a billboard. Every day you have to announce your business. Make moves, less announcements. That's what we've got to do. And those moves are by consistently waking up on time, consistently making sure you're getting the right amount of sleep. The stress that you're dealing with, it's managing that. Own those feelings, own those actions, and then make a plan to change it. Because if you keep running away from those things, they're going to run up on you. And then you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Listen, when you accept that you're overweight, when you accept that you're eating too much, when you accept that it's time to unbig your back, you can then begin to make change. It's only when you get to that acceptance level. Acceptance doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. Acceptance means now I finally acknowledge there is something that needs to be addressed, something that needs to be worked on. And then you can get to working on it bit by bit. Instead of trying to change everything yesterday, because you've got an addiction to sugar, you're trying to cut it out. You don't have a plan and you're just trying to do it on a whim. Welcome to the channel. Anyway, I know why. That is how I lost 10 pounds without tracking. And I also gave you a little bit of a pep talk and a little bit of some motivation. I hope you're feeling encouraged and motivated. I am somebody who will just tell you straight, but I will try to emphasize because I have been there. I was at my heaviest. I refused to look at the scale. I wanted to dash that out the window because I'm like, why you keep telling me I'm fat? I know I'm fat. I can see it in my face. I can feel it in my body. When I'm walking up the stairs, but I wasn't at a place to address or accept that, hang on, there's a problem. And the problem, once I got to it, was that rejection. And I was like, oh, is that it? No, it wasn't. Because then I had to undo all of those things and heal those areas. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody. Who wants to do that? But I needed to. I don't care whether it's I wanted to, I needed to, and that's all that mattered. And once I understood it in my pretty little head, once I got that in my head and started to do things that I wanted to do, I tell you, ain't nobody gonna put me in a box, okay? Ain't nobody puts baby in a cone. I was not going to be put in a mold. I was not going to do this diet. If I didn't want to do it, you are not going to get me to do it at all. So anyway, once I got to that point, I then started to find a way to eat food that I loved. And I'm talking a few years ago. Now, I don't want to track macros because I got tired of weighing my food all the time. I got tired of seeing macros coaches telling their clients that you can diet as long as you want. And I just got tired of tracking macros. I'm done now. I'm done. This is boring. Weighing my food, trying to see how many carbs I've gone over. Oops, I've gone over my carbs. Girl, I've lost 10 pounds. In fact, I lost 15 pounds by meal planning. So whatever method works for you, you do what works for you. If it's tracking, track to your heart's content. Have all the facts, have all the information, and then make your choice. And that's what this video is about. This is what this channel is about. Give you all of the options and the facts, and ultimately you make that choice. For me, my goal is, and I still eat it, my goal is ultimately, eventually, to take out ultra-processed foods from my diet. And I don't want it no more. It's got to go. And especially if you're somebody who has a high portion of visceral fat, cortisol, stress, and ultra-processed foods are 3 of the biggest contributors to visceral fat. If you don't believe me, have a listen to some of the videos that I'm going to link in the show notes. They did advise years ago to do HIIT training, high-intensity interval training, but with these knees, nobody's doing that. So I've lost belly fat, and I've lost 5% of body fat. Remember, 5% of body fat just by focusing on the quality of food that I'm eating. Through those changes, as well as behavior changes, I've seen those results. That's been a long video. I hope you've taken something from this video. I hope I've made you laugh. I hope I've made you angry enough to make some change.